Okay guys, just to show you real quick, this is my SCX24 Fat Girl, and this is my Orlando Baby Fat Girl. I wanted to kind of show you the scale of these. As you already know, the SCX24 Fat Girl is really small as far as the chassis goes. If you look, let me see. I'll take this apart here. Take a look at what the original SCX24 body looks like. That's how big it is. And then you look at the Fat Girl, you could tell that it's quite a bit smaller. So you could pretty much fit a whole Fat Girl in there and not even notice that it was in there. So as it is, the SCX24 is extremely small. It's only about 145 millimeters from tip to tip, and really narrow so that the wheels don't get caught up on anything. It's really good crawler, but that's not the smallest guy. This right here is the Orlando version, and this thing is tiny. So right now this version is about 100 millimeters from tip to tip, and the wheelbase is 100 millimeters because I like to keep the look as the original thing, so kind of matches the length of the body, to the wheelbase, and that's why I made this one 100. But obviously I'm gonna put a little bit slightly bigger tires to kind of match the look on this one. Those Gecko ones, I'll get those, just ordered them today, so I'll get them soon. The only issue with having this guy as small as he is that I didn't have any batteries to put on it. I do have the Orlando electronics that I could fit inside the engine bay pretty easily, or even up in here. But all I had as far as battery goes was the 260 milliamp hour batteries, which cannot fit in there. So that is not, an option. And the reason I say 2S is because I want to run this 2S because I had the really small gear case in there, the transmission, and it's really slow even with the 2S. So if I was to run this, which I had, that's the one cell 300 milliamp hour battery, which fits nicely in there or even in here. If I was to run this, it will be just way too slow. So obviously you guys can, if you want a really slow crawler and you have the slow transmission in there and you want to put the Orlando electronics with the single cell, then this 300 milliamp hour battery fits in that engine bay perfectly. And you could actually go bigger than the 300, but I know this one for sure will fit in there perfect. And if I was to have two of these, for some reason it's actually thinner than what the 260 was. So if I had another one of these, I could sandwich them together, and it seems to me that they would fit in here on the top. So I may go ahead and order another one of these, so which may come here sooner than the 150 milliamp hour batteries that I ordered, and I'll just stick those two together. It might work, so I'll give that a shot. I'll go ahead and order it, whatever, and maybe I will run the 2S on that one. Now I do want to use the Sumo Crawler ESC on this one because it's ESC and transmitter, so I kind of save on the trouble of having to solder everything and make everything work. Plus I get an extra channel just in case that I want to run rear wheel steering. So I am going to be using the Sumo Crawler ESC, which fits in there, believe it or not. Just perfect fit. And that's the electronics I'll be using, but obviously, you can use any other microelectronics that'll fit in there. Orlando electronics fit just fine, but I figure because I think I may end up doing the rear wheel steering I'll use the sumo and just be done with that. So you can see everything is working perfect. I do have another chassis being printed right now, which is a scaled down version of this one, which instead of being 100 millimeters, it's going to be 90 millimeters. That is just because of special requests from some viewers that they wanted to get a shorter wheelbase on it. So I will probably be including that one on my Shapeways store if I can see that it's got you know, good functionality. I think it will. I think it'll work, and it'll allow you to run a shorter wheelbase than the 100 millimeter that I have right here. Plus the chassis, the body being smaller, it'll actually look just right with these tires, which is the original, size that's meant to be used with the Orlandoo. So the smaller body would look like this one looks with the bigger tires by just using those. Also, it should fit the same skid plate because this body, I made it a little bit wider. I'll show you that right now. I made it a little bit wider on the skid plate area because I wanted you to be able to use different variations of the skid plates if you had them. Let me see if it'll come apart here. So pretty much now it's all compressed, of course, because I've been squeezing it. But it should be about 1.5 millimeters. It's about 1 millimeter to 1.5 millimeters wider than what the skid plate is. It's just that since I kept it on this one, it's already taken that shape. But because it's plastic, you can open it and close it a little bit. Of course, don't go crazy trying to put a 1/10 scale skid plate in there. Come on, guys, you know better than that. But anyways, I made it that way on purpose just so that you could fit something different. But as you can see, I am using the Orlandoo aluminum skid plates here. This is not the adjustable one. This is the one that's got one size that has the 4 holes on the side. I went ahead and just added the external holes on the plate because I figure having too many holes in there is just a pain. Having so many bolts, you don't really need them. So just use the 2 external ones. Using the original Orlandoo links and drive shafts. This is the drive shafts that came with the F-150 the pickup version. You can get the smaller ones if you're gonna run the shorter wheelbase. And let me see if I have those here. I don't even know where I put them. Alright, so you do have other versions of the drive shafts that are a lot smaller, a lot shorter. These are the ones you would use with the Jeep version of it. So as you can see, they're way shorter than these. So if you were to use the smaller cage, you could use these and go to like a really short wheelbase. Once I get that printed out, I'll see if there's any room to go any smaller, because there is a chance that I may be able, using these drive shafts to shorten it even more. But then when you get to that point, I think it's just going to be too hard to get the electronics in there. So, I mean, it is possible, but I don't know that anybody's going to want to go through the trouble of, having to make those tiny little solder points and all that stuff, and then getting batteries that'll fit it at that small of a scale might be a real pain in the butt. But I'll test that out. We'll see. In any case, I think 100 millimeter wheelbase with this body, because of the adaptability, being able to use more battery options and electronics, would be the best way to go. Obviously, you got all the articulation in it. So, it'll still function very well. It's not gonna, crash or anything. So I think this is the best option as of right now, and this is the one that I have posted. I already posted it on metal as well, so if you want that one, that is an option. Just know that you're gonna have to, glue the balls onto the holes on the metal one, because you can't really thread those, so I just made the hole a tiny bit bigger so that you could kind of slip those in and just glue them on. You don't have to use, something super powerful. I mean, super glue would just work fine, and then you can rip it out if you have to. But this one does have the holes that you could thread the balls into, so that shouldn't be an issue. And pretty much that's it. I mean, just figure it'd be better for you guys to see it. It is really small, and I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.